everyone. We are from Group 10. We are going to explain about Indonesia cooperation with Australia in the fields of technology, education, security, development, economy, and then cooperation to tackle the COVID-19 pandemic. So let's move to the first topic. My name is Novia Kesha Tumankan. I'm going to explain Indonesia cooperation with Australia in the fields of technology. On 2018, Indonesia-Australia Digital Forum, or IADF, was held on January 31st until February 1st, 2018, became the initial forum for the two countries to increase cooperation between the two countries in the digital field. To show the commitment between the two countries, this is not a NATO forum or no action talk only. This is a part of the Indonesia Unicorn program where potential investors from Australia will attend and meet Indonesian startups who have been incubated. This IADF 2018 is a commitment from Indonesia and Australia to cooperate in digital economy. IADF 2018 with the themes Share, Engage, Connect, and Collaborate is expected to be an opportunity to increase and expand cooperation between the Indonesia and Australia government and private sector in the digital sector, as well as a means of adding insight, creating new ideas, and sharing best practices for various sector themes.
My name is Putri Gisela. Here I will explain Indonesia cooperation with Australia in the field of education. Many students from Indonesia study at university in Australia. In addition, the Australian government also assists the Indonesian government in advancing education in Indonesia. In a release received by ABC Australia plus Indonesia, it was stated that from the Ministry of Education and Culture, the Joint Working Group, or JWG, this was 13. Meanwhile, for the Ministry of Research, Technology and Higher Education, it was the second JWG. Education, training and research are very important fields for Indonesia and Australia, considering that up to August 2016, there were 17,712 Indonesian students and students currently studying in Australia. This number represents the largest number of Indonesian students studying outside Indonesia when compared to other countries. At the same time, it is estimated that the number of Australian students studying in Indonesia each year is more than 2,000 people either doing short apprenticeships or who take one semester or more of study each year. The interest of Australia undergraduate students who wish to undertake internship, field studies and long-term studies is increasing every year. For example, Indonesia is the favorite study destination for Australian students through the New Colombo Plan program. In the last 3 years alone, it was recorded that 2,004 Australian students have undertaken apprenticeship and studies in Indonesia. As of year 2016, 825 Australian students conducted their studies in Indonesia. That's all I can explain. Thank you.
My name is Veronica Alessandra Senduk, Indonesian Australia Security Cooperation. In 1996, Indonesia and Australia entered into an agreement in the field defense. The agreement is based on wishes of two countries to strengthen friendship and realize the importance of guaranteeing peace. In addition, this agreement is also based on agreement on the need to respect sovereignty, political independence, and regional integration for all countries. Through this agreement, the two countries agree on several things, namely, number one, the ministers of two countries will be together on regular basis, security issues, but respecting one other thing. Number two, resolving problem or challenge that occur that affect mutual security interests and individual actions, nor joint actions. Number three, the countries will consistently enter the configuration, security issues, and the agreement has been in effect since 15 June 1996.
My name is Jopi Agual. So in here I'm only talking about cooperation between Indonesia and Australia in the field of development. In connections with the plan to relocate the Indonesia capital to Kalimantan, Indonesia President Joko Widodo on the sidelines of a state visit in Australia studied the development of Canberra, the capital of Australia, which has a good urban planning and is built in a planned manner. President Joko Widodo visits the Mount Ainslie area in Canberra, Australia, to see and learn about Canberra's development as the capital of Australia. Jokowi said, and I think if we saw earlier, the layout of the city is very good, and we will take the good things for the construction of a new capital.
It's a very young city, and a city that was planned from the very beginning to reflect the aspirations and democratic values of the Australian people. Oh, it's an honour to have the President here, particularly as Indonesia is moving towards a new capital. And for him to come and want to learn and hear about what we've done and see what we've done is such an honour.
The city of Canberra was built in 1913 and has a population of about 400,000 inhabitants. And from the highlands of Ainslie, which has an altitude of 843 meters above sea level, the President looks at Canberra's urban planning. On these occasions, the President reiterate the seriousness of the government in moving the capital city of Indonesia to the Kalimantan region. That's all, and the last I say thank you very much.
Good night, everyone. My name is Jeremia Kasiuhe, and now I'm going to explain about the economic cooperation between Indonesia and Australia. Over the years, Australia has a good relation with Indonesia. Many Australian tourists visit tourist destinations in Indonesia. This can also be seen in terms of economic relation between Indonesia and Australia. Furthermore, to strengthen relations while improving the economics of the two countries, Indonesia and Australia agreed to form an agreement in the form of IA-CEPA. Not without reason, the formation of the IA-CEPA agreement shows that Indonesia has a profitable market potential for Australian investors. After going through a long negotiation process, finally the IA-CEPA has officially entered into force. The Economic Cooperation Agreement between Indonesia and Australia includes several things which are expected to strengthen the economic axis of the country. What is the IA-CEPA? The Indonesia-Australia Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, or IA-CEPA, is a form of cooperation between Indonesia and Australia. This cooperation in the economic field is put into an agreement with the intention of turning the two countries into economic powerhouses. This agreement has been seen by the two countries since March 2019 and has gone through the ratification process. The IASEPA was first ratified by Australia on November 26, 2019, followed by Indonesia, which ratified the agreement. Then, on February 28, 2020, this ratification was followed up with the issuance of Law Number 1 of 2020 concerning ratification of the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement between Indonesia and Australia. After undergoing 10 months of the ratification process, the Minister of Trade of the Republic of Indonesia, Agus Suparmanto, and the Minister of Trade, Investment and Tourism of Australia, Simon Birmingham, agreed to implement the EACAPA on July 5, 2020. Agus Suparmanto also said that through his virtual meeting with Simon Birmingham, they agreed that it is important to implement EACAPA as soon as possible so that it can help restore the economy after being hit by the COVID-19 pandemic in both countries. Thank you.
My name is England Derek.
The last
Cooperation between Indonesia and Australia to tackle the COVID-19 pandemic. The Indonesian government has signed a financial support agreement worth 1.5 billion Australian dollar, or around 15,000 trillion rupees from the Australian government, which can be repaid over 15 years. This agreement is a form of comprehensive strategic partnership and friendship between Australia and Indonesia, especially in fighting the coronavirus. This support is also in support of the COVID-19 Active Response and Expenditure Support Program, which is organized by the Asian Development Bank, or ADB. The agreement was conveyed by the Minister of Finance, Menko Sri Mulyani Indrawati, in a press statement on economic cooperation between Indonesia and Australia in tackling the COVID-19 pandemic via video conference on Thursday, 12 November. The Minister of Finance appreciated the ongoing commitment and partnership between Indonesia and Australia to strengthen relations between the two. The financial support is to support the financing in Indonesian 2020 budget, which focuses on crisis control due to COVID-19 and the National Economy Recovery, or PAN, program. This is very important, especially when facing the challenge of the COVID-19 pandemic in a global scope. We all understand that the COVID-19 pandemic has a very challenging impact on all of us, said the Minister of Finance. Fiscal instruments are one of the most important policy instruments when the economy and society have been hit by the COVID pandemic, both to support the health sector, social safety needs for the community, and to support the business world. So all parts of society are affected by COVID-19. This is where the role of fiscal policy together with other instruments such as monetary policy is to minimize the impact during this very difficult time, explained the minister. In this context, the Minister of Finance added that the friendship and partnership between the Indonesian government and the Australian government not only a strong relationship but also provides an understanding that as a neighboring country, it has the goal of recovering and overcoming the effects of the COVID pandemic. We really appreciate the support from the Australian government, and I hope both countries will recover very strongly and immediately from this COVID-19 so that we can meet each other physically, concluded the Minister of Finance. This financial support from the Australian government to Indonesia is provided not only because Indonesia has a record of prudent fiscal management, but also today is an extraordinary moment to face together. This financial support reflects the belief that a sustainable recovery in the Indonesian economy and prosperity is essential in creating stability in the Australia and Indonesian regions. So that's all the cooperation between Indonesia and Australia, and thank you.